Well, you gotta talk. At least talk a little. Say hi. How's everybody doing?
Hey, how's everybody doing out there? We're letting people join in. This is Skating Unfiltered with Jazzy Foster and Coach Jeff. We're gonna let people join in. Uh, we're gonna talk about. I was fortunate enough to let the board. The board let me listen to their meeting a few weeks ago. I thought, for the most part, it was very, very positive, and we're going to let you know what they talked about. And also, we're going to talk about the CW meet. We're not going to concentrate on the negative like everybody else has because I think that's been resolved. And we're going to talk about what the regional reps are doing to try to better the sport, just to try to keep you involved. And I think the next major event is the American Championships. And I think that entry is due soon.
Sunday.
Sunday. But I'm sure they're going to take lead entries. But it's due soon. And I'm sure they're hoping they're going to have a great event since there seem to be no COVID restrictions in Colorado at this time. And so we're just going to let people join. We're going to try to keep it positive for the most part because I thought the board meeting was probably 90% positive. I think you're really going to, they're going to have their official minutes out. And I know most of you are not going to go out there and read them. So we're going to let you know what they talked about because I sat there on Saturday and listened to most of it, and it was pretty positive. I'm just waiting for my daughter to tell me when she's done doing all her whatever she does over there because I don't know.
I'm getting there.
And we're going to start talking about it. And we're going to listen to what you have to say because she's going to be monitoring the comments and what you actually want to talk about. We'll try to address most of them. And my puppy here was at the meet at CW. She totally enjoyed it. I mean, she just loved it to death. And I don't think she understands her little status because of some people, but she's just hanging out. And we had a great event down there. We had about 125 skaters, which I think is pretty good for our first time. And we're hoping to look to build on that and learn from our mistakes and make things better for next year. So I see my daughter's sitting down, so I don't know if that means we're ready to begin.
Yeah, there's some people here. Sorry.
So I'm going to start with the board meeting. One thing I liked about the board meeting, the president.
You didn't even say welcome. You just said, let's start with the board meeting.
Whoa, welcome. I'm sorry. This is why you're here, to keep me in line. Welcome, everybody. And we definitely appreciate you stopping by. And what we'd like to talk about is the board meeting. Your USA Roller Sports had a board meeting a few weeks ago. And you could listen in on the board meeting. I don't really know if you could have commented. I chose not to because I thought that was inappropriate because they were doing their business. But I can tell you what my takeaways. And the number one takeaway, which I've been advocating, and they did, is the president. They went through every rule that makes no sense in 2022, and they got rid of it. They went through every single rule. They had brief discussion about it, and they made a decision. This is not applicable to 2022, and they got rid of it. I thought it was phenomenal. I mean, it wasn't like we're going to get rid of everything. They went through every rule. The president of the organization, I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want you all know who the president is. The president went through every single rule. GR, blah, 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 said, this is what the rule is. Is this applicable in 2022? And the board, the board, the people that were on the call made a determination, and either it stayed or it went. Most of them went, which is a positive thing. The rule book is a lot thinner, which was really good. And, you can't, the board was very proactive. They went through membership. Membership is up. According to the board, membership is up for 2022, which is a good thing. I do not know what that breakdown is as far as Starskate, intermediate membership and full membership, but they said membership is up. So we got to take their word for it that membership is up, which is a good thing coming out of COVID. It is a very, very positive thing coming out of COVID. They also talked about Team USA ownership, which for a lot of you, what's Team USA ownership? Because, and the reason why you don't know that much about it is because a lot of you are not on Team USA.
I was on Team USA and I don't even know what that is.
What they talked about is, I did not know this, but and actually an artistic person brought this up, that when you make World Team and you purchase your Team USA apparel, supposedly USA Roller Sports still owns that, even though you paid for it. Now, it got into some other discussion, because if you were allowed to wear your Team USA apparel in certain competitions, and if that would intimidate judges because you're on Team USA.
Well, I broke that rule then.
Which I totally understand from an artistic standpoint, because, if you're on Team USA and you're in a competition, of course, maybe the judges might be impressed by that and might score you higher. I did not think that was going to be an issue on the speed side, because it's pretty cut and dry. Fast people win. However, they talked about, and the representative from the speed committee actually talked about that the people that are on Team USA busted their butts to earn those colors. And the fact that other people
take them away
could purchase those colors and wear them in competitions was not appropriate, which I totally agree. I was always against. I get that the Olympics sell, you can buy warm-up jackets and you can buy hats and you can buy all this other kind of stuff, but that skin suit that you earned as part of being Team USA is yours, nobody else's. And nobody should be able to purchase that. And that was a big discussion. I don't know where they're going to end up with that, but I am very pleased at the fact that they actually, had a conversation about it. And like I said, I thought the meeting was very positive. All of the committees, Derby, artistic, speed, I know I'm missing hockey, all went through their, what their plans were. And I'm not, artistic, they went through what they went through, what they're going to do on social media. Hockey went through, Derby. It seems to be that Derby is going to have their nationals somewhere else.
In Waco, Texas.
And the reason why they said they wanted to do that was because it was hard for their membership to get off, because they're a bit older, they have families and everything else. And I think that also is a plus, that the organization is understanding their customer a little bit better. These people are basically saying, listen, I can't take a week off. and then go to Worlds and do all that other kind of
Oh,
stuff.
I forgot Worlds is. They have it's roller games this year, isn't it?
Yeah, so they also had some discussion about amateur cards because people that tried out, uh, had to get amateur cards, and my solution was just let them just get their amateur cards and let it go to the last day of the World Championships, and they're done. They got to start all over again. But I thought it was very positive. The only negative that I thought is, believe it or not, Speed still was not pro social media. They were, people, they still think that people that criticize, they take that as attack and take that as negativity. And I think that's the wrong, I think it's the wrong direction to take. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But for the most part, and then the speaker committee talked about, they said that we're going to have the trials in Florida during the meeting at Brian Piccolo Park, which is probably a good thing. They also said they had to have an alternate spot.
Because it rains.
Well, because it's hurricane season.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to be honest, when we were down there at the clinic and it rained, it dried up pretty quickly. Like, it rained for 20 minutes.
And then you were ready to race 15 minutes later.
Not race, but...
So, they are... And from what I understand, brought the county down there and the park wants to kind of work with USA Roller Sports to try to upgrade the track, the road track, and the track, so they can have more races down there. And I think that's a step in the right direction. I think that Dave in Milton and Chris in Orlando, I think they're going to get their tracks built. And I think that's good. Now, some of you might say, well, that means, Jeff, there's 3 tracks in Florida. Well, yes, there's 3 tracks in Florida, but that's not stopping anybody else from anywhere else in the country trying to build a track. You cannot criticize them because they're building tracks, because you're not building a track. So, Chris in Orlando, he's getting closer and closer. Dave's been getting closer and closer. He's posting pictures. And this is all good. How could this be a bad thing that we're going to have more tracks in the United States? We're going to double the amount of tracks according to what these individuals are trying to do. And oh, by the way, they're putting their own money into it. You need to understand that. They're putting their own money into it. So I think that is a really good thing. We'll see where it goes. We had an excellent meet in Orlando. Don't
speak too much about Orlando. We'll get in trouble again. Well, things that happen in Orlando, we'll get in trouble again.
Oh yeah, that's right. But I thought it was a great meet. Now we had a meet in the Eastern region for the first time in almost 20 years. Cord Wallach opened his rink up.
Renee says Ocala is going to build one also, a track.
Oh yeah,
they're all in Florida. Can we get one in closer up north, please?
I'm working on it. Well,
we could have one before.
If Renee's building one in Ocala, that's good also. People are actually doing. They're trying to do it. Even if they don't succeed, they are making an effort. They're not just sitting around talking about it. They're actually talking to people, talking to community leaders, and trying to do it. I know up here, when we worked on getting Trexler Town, Rodell Park, and all of the skate trails that we have around, that took a lot of time. Going to community meetings, sitting back and listening, and it was very interesting. So if they're doing one in Ocala, that's 100% great. So back to the meet in Delaware. What did you think of the meet in Delaware?
I liked it. It was fun. I was working most of it, so I didn't get to see what everybody else was doing. But I thought it was fun to work it. It wasn't super strict or anything, but it was definitely fun to work with everybody that I was working with.
Well, the whole goal for us was to have a meet in our region. We had not had one for 20 years. You know, when we came up with the Keystone Invitational, it was like pulling teeth to get that done. It's not going to work. People are not going to come. And believe it or not, in the beginning, people did not come. And we had to do a little of you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And we had to, we're not coming down to your meet until you start coming up to ours. And that meet, at its height, we had like 500 people. We had international skaters. And at the Cornwall Skating Arena, which is no longer available anymore. And that's why the meet now is in Virginia and is the Blue Ridge Challenge. But we had about 120 people. For the most part, I say 99% of the meet was pretty good. We made a mistake. We owned up to it. We corrected it. And I hope that people will dwell on the 99% that was positive. And because we learn from it. We're, if we do it next year, which I hope we do, it'll be better. It'll be better. And the rink operator, Court Wallach, can't give him enough props. Lenny Morgan, who did a lot of behind-the-scenes work, trying to, get entries and make sure the floor was right and make sure he did all the little things. Because when you do a meet for the first time, you just forget. And I can tell you, as being involved in the Orlando meet, and being involved in the Emerald Coast meet, there's always something that you just forget. So we're hoping this one was pretty good. We had people from, where did everybody come from?
Virginia, Illinois. Lisa brought some of her skaters. Pennsylvania, South Carolina. No, North Carolina.
No, I think they're from South Carolina, aren't they?
I thought it was Team Carolina, North Carolina, South Carolina, one of the Carolinas.
Yeah, there's some South Carolina thing. We had Massachusetts, New Jersey, Delaware,
PA,
Pennsylvania, and
Kentucky. There was some from Kentucky too.
I think somebody came from Tennessee too.
Because I was talking to them before we went to do our outlap for the race. Marcus Jones says, "I only heard good things about the meet. I think it was a great thing on top of the fact, my guess going away, the meet got done, which is more to say than just talking about it." Marcus also said Ohio and Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia was there.
Georgia's there and Kyle's there from Ohio.
Yeah. So we had, it was really, we didn't know what to expect, to be honest with you. Mike Godin, Lisa Dunham, John Rogers, Korwak, Lenny, we just kind of said, and did I forget anybody in there? I'm going to get in trouble. I probably did forget somebody. I don't know. But it started off, we just started off as an idea. And
I help with the social media side of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Jasmine helped with social media. Jalen helped the referees. And, and Lisa brought a crew out there that was excellent. Mm-hmm. Dave Alcorn, excellent, did everything. And it started off as an idea. We started talking about it. And how do we make this better? Jimmy Blair, actually, Dave Weber supported the meet with John Rustine with What's Up Docs. And we just kind of said, can we do this? And it just kind of grew and grew and grew. And Dan Hyde with the championship jerseys.
Yeah.
And that what he gave out, the backdrop that Dan Hyde did, he donated that. That is all what, to me, skating's about.
What happens when the community comes together to put on a race.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't about this organization or that organization. It's about people
when a community comes together positively.
Yes. We just wanted to race. And it was good. And I'm hoping, that we can learn from our mistakes and do it better for next year. And that's kind of, I don't know what else what you can do. It got kind of crazy there, and I do understand why people don't want to put on meats, because there are some nasty things that were said. And
I'm not commenting on those because I don't think it was right to comment on
and
stuff.
I thought a lot of stuff was just totally inappropriate. But they have a right to say what they got to say. Anybody knows me knows you have a right to criticize, to say what's on your mind. And and we took it in stride, and we definitely we're going to try to fix it for next year. I thought it was a good meet. I thought people had a lot of fun. What they did with the kids in the back, with the
Mother's
arts
Day,
and crafts and
them,
everything,
so they can make their own Mother's Day
cards. Nobody ever's done that before. It was awesome. Lenny just was all over the place, cleaning the floor.
It did happen. It was at a meet before, but it was a meet in the Eastern region before. It might have been Easter that someone did it.
It might have been.
But I just saw a bunch of kids with glitter, and I was like, oh, they're
so
making their cards.
It was good. Actually, we got some glitter on the floor. I think we had to clean up because the kids were having so much fun.
No, they were on their uniforms, but it wasn't on the floor.
Oh, so it was good. Skating is back in the Eastern region. We're gonna have an invitational. We might even have another one. We might have 2 next year up there.
What's the second one?
Oh, I got to keep that under my hat. I'm just kind of, I'm quite invested into keeping our skaters home here skating and active. Let's get on to the regional. Do you have anything else to add, dear?
No, I was reading Marcus's comment. It says the Mother's Day cards for the moms and the kids was absolutely amazing, and it was kudos to all that was involved. Yeah, that was a very, very good idea. Unfortunately, I couldn't go back and make one.
Oh, so I have a question. So how did you feel racing against your mother in the championships race? I mean, a lot of people don't get to do that.
I mean, it was definitely when she asked me before, should I skate the race? I was like, yeah, because in the beginning we were going to have heats, but some people end up not skating it, so it was final. She was like, oh, it's cool. Like, I know I'll get to race you, but she was kind of, like, nervous because... And what made her more nervous is because we started next to each other.
I thought she was going to cheat you.
And she didn't want to mess up my track, like getting off the start, because we start very similarly in a way.
Well, so imagine that you start similarly. Like
yeah, I didn't inherit your start. I'm just kidding. I got mom's start. She was a straight, just go. But yeah, she was nervous about that. She was already critiquing herself after the race. She's like, if I would have done this would have been better. Unfortunately, I did end up lapping. It was like the 1 lap to go. So I think when we lapped her, because it was an 8-lap race.
You lapped your mom. That's just so wrong.
So I can say I've relayed with my mom and I've raced my mom. I've done both.
Well, that's good. I think,
You relayed with Justin, though, before.
And I think that that's because speed skating is a family sport. We need to sell it as a family sport. Which takes me over to the regional reps.
You can do that. I'm going to go right back.
The regional reps had their meeting. I believe it was Monday. And they also had a lot of positive feedback. They are pushing forward on the world team selection process.
Are we taking 8? Are we taking 8? Are we taking 8?
They're going back and forth with the speed committee. They put their proposal out there, and the speed committee asked for some clarification, and they're going to clarify that and send that back.
I only say, are we taking 8 because all the other countries that can take 8, they take 8. Now, I know some of their things, it's like, oh, well, we don't go there for experience. Okay, well, not everybody goes to Germany, which I would highly recommend. I really want to go next year. But if they don't go to Germany, but they make team, that's their only time to get that experience with at the same time. But if we create those same type of racing scenarios in the U.S., like racing like it is Columbia in the U.S., and you don't necessarily have to, you'll gain that experience before.
Well, I think you're correct. I think you're correct. I always said we should take the maximum.
Take 8.
And
What is
that
it, 30,
I
32
think
total?
I just think we should be taking the maximum. But that's a discussion. They talked. The regional reps talked about progression in the sport, which is lacking. How do you get people into the sport and keep them in the sport? Now, we have the Starscape program, and some people utilize that. I utilize that. I don't utilize it at the level that they have it currently because I just don't. But how do we get more people in the sport? There was talk about, for instance, if you get 5 new members on your team, maybe your charter is free. How do we, because this is a sport where the mother and father can actually skate with their kids because we have divisions all the way up. So they are working on an incentive program with the amateur cards to encourage more membership. And I think it's a good idea. Some people have asked me about it. I still say, we need to work on the coaches because you can have all the people join, but if you have nobody to coach them, they're not going to go anywhere. So they are working on that. There was a lot of talk about the Star Skate program. And in the board meeting, there's a lot of talk about the Star Skate program. And like I said, I think the Star Skate program is excellent. My personal opinion is we're not implementing it the way it should be implemented.
How should it be implemented?
How should it be implemented? I think that the Star Skate program should be sold to the rink operator. This is how he or she is going to benefit from this. I think it should be sold as we're going to give you more customers. And hopefully those new customers will be either derby skaters, hockey skaters, artist skaters, or speed skaters. That's how I think it should be sold. I think it should be sold as if the rink operator will see an increase.
So you think it should be a part of their learn to skate classes?
Yes, they will see an increase in their sessions because that's what rink operators respond to. They want more people coming through the door. That is my personal opinion. That is how we implement the Star Skate program because we definitely feel that is the way to increase people skating. The regional reps talked about the progression and how we get back to skating leagues. They also talked about, before I forget, they talked about regionals and how they were going to do that. There was even
have regionals.
Well, there is no regionals now, but
it's open nationals. For those who don't know, it is open nationals.
Yes, right now we have an open national. But they also talked about, should we have regionals, and should that be part of the selection process? Should we redistrict regionals? And
should we be what?
Redistrict regionals. So we move them around. Because personally,
change the regions.
Change the regions. They talk about should we change, and that's a very interesting discussion because the RSA has a very good tool on their website that shows where every rink is.
Oh my goodness, I went on that. I didn't realize how many rinks were there.
Yes, all over the country. And that could be incorporated into how many of them actually have speed teams. It doesn't matter if it's RSA or USA Roller Sports, USRSS or USA Roller Sports, because then you could actually redistrict the regions by population, and it should be something that should change maybe every 2 years. Because, for instance, the argument is, I'll use our region. The Nora skating rink is all the way in Pittsburgh. It is way closer for them to skate the Ohio region than to skate our region. But because they're in Pennsylvania, they got to drive 6 hours if regionals is in New Jersey, they got to drive all the way to New Jersey to skate regionals, and vice versa. If we have regionals out there, everybody has to drive 6 hours to get out there. To me, that's not the financial center, and that's not economically feasible. So I know the regional reps are looking at that. They're also looking at how we select regionals by a timing system. And the timing system is interesting. Who's going to pay for the timing system? Who is going to maintain the timing system with software upgrades? Who is going to house it? Is it going to stay in somebody's garage, or are we going to compensate them for keeping that in the garage? And who is going to pay for the transport of this timing system from this regional meet to that regional meet?
Yeah, but the times are never going to be, unless it's at the same rink every year. That's the problem. How are you going to set the exact time?
That's
the hard part, because you can have someone that has a track that's 100 millimeters, or they have a bigger floor, like Olympic. Their floor is huge, and so the timing are going to be a little bit slower because we're using the whole track.
It might be faster if it's tight.
Yeah, if it's tight, but it always depends. And then you have Mike's floor that the track's only 90 meters, so it's that it's a good proposal in ways, but there's so many. I mean, being devil's advocate, there's so many things how to cheat it.
Well, they will have to definitely. The track will have to be consistent. It's going to have to be 100 meter. The width, that's going to have to be consistent. And I don't know if that is actually going to make it harder to have regionals or not. I don't know.
I think maybe just go back to doing regionals again and maybe redistrict. Whatever the word you said.
Redistricting.
I don't like it.
I think we might be couldn't. I think we need to get our membership up. I think that the proposals they have to get membership up is the number one thing. Because if you get membership up, for instance, if we go to nationals this year and we're there till 2:00 in the morning, we definitely need to have regionals. But if we go there and we're done...
What are you talking about? We got out at midnight each night.
No. What I'm saying is, if we have an overwhelming number of people show up...
Yeah.
And, wow, we got to have regionals because we can't have this many people. Then that's what we need to do. Until we get to that point, I think we're putting the cart before horse. That's just in my opinion.
Well, what do you think, okay, you have your heats in the morning, but then you have that big break. What if I know people need to eat and things, but sometimes it's a really big break.
Well, it is a big break.
But it's also just the running, how everything's run. I mean, you saw Germany. They went through all the skaters in 20 minutes tops just for time trials.
Well, that we definitely... and there was a lot of comment. There was a lot of comment on that on Facebook. So... I think we're going to have to look at that. I think that we definitely have to, the regional reps and the speed committee need to look at that, and they need to be very cautious going forward, because you don't want to fix a problem and then create another problem. I mean, like I said, the board meeting was very good. They talked, Also, the regional reps discussed bringing in the vendors in the safe sport.
Mike, I want to say, just to be clear, all these topics aren't proposals, just topics at this point.
Yes, they were just topics. They're not proposals.
I don't know about proposals. I don't know which one's proposals.
Yeah, they were just topics for discussion and take back to your coaches, which should happen. Thank you, Mike, for correcting me. Also, they brought up about bringing vendors into safe sport, and that's a weird. It's a hard one, especially after what we just went through with our last meet.
I would only say yes because of what we just went through, but then there's other people that well, why?
Well, I think that you got to be very careful especially in a world we live in where everybody wants to cancel people. If you don't agree with somebody,
holy crap.
if you don't agree with somebody, okay, we'll just make up a rule to get rid of you. And that's not just in politics. That's in USA Roller Sports. That's in USRSS. It's everywhere. If you don't like somebody, we're just going to make a rule, and we're going to get rid of you. And I don't know if that's good, but at the same time, you know, some people just have been going way over the top. So it is, you know, really, they talked about that. And the last thing I believe Mike told me they talked about is skater safety.
Safety?
And all they talked about really was nobody's blaming anybody, but what have we done to make the sport safer? You know, the wheels, we got tight competition with the wheels. Everybody wants to have a faster wheel. They want it to grip faster. They want it to roll faster.
Grip faster, grip more.
The grip more. They want to roll faster. And the times are getting faster and faster. We had 2 very catastrophic injuries. And do we need to look at that? And that was not a proposal. It was just like, listen, go back to your coaches.
Things to talk about.
Something. Do we need to do something to make the sport safer? Because as far as I know, the only thing that we have done is helmets, and we moved the relay box. Mm-hmm. And I think that's it. So, not that anybody, we're not pointing a finger at anybody. It's just all of us. Do we need to look at making the sport a little safer? And maybe we can't. Maybe that's just the way it is. You know, maybe it's just going to become, you know, it's just dangerous. I don't know. But, you know, we need to, you know, kind of look at that. So the regional reps are really doing, I mean, they got a whole new crew in there, and they're meeting. Like, I don't know when they meet, but I think it's once every 2 weeks, once a week or whatever. And they are actually tackling subjects that parents and coaches are bringing up. And they're putting pen to paper. They're putting them to the speed committee. The speed committee must address them, whether they like them or not, take them to the board for approval, and that's the way it's supposed to work. You know, we pretty much know where Outdoor Nationals is going to be. It's probably going to be in Brian Piccolo Park. They have to have an alternative, which is totally understandable. It's
that one piece of wood.
It's in the middle of hurricane season, so you got to have an alternative. Which some people are going to be mad about that because they have to have an alternative because it's going to be in hurricane season. Mm-hmm. So you might have your plane tickets and everything all ready to go down there. And
that may be upsetting.
Hurricane Lizzie's.
As long as it's in advance. Like if it's like...
Well, you're not going to know. Because if Hurricane Lizzie comes through there and it's going to be a direct hit.
Chris Springer doing an amazing job. So my good said the second Tuesday of each month, I guess, when they have
they have the second Tuesday every month. And I think Chris Springer's the president, and I think he's doing an excellent job. And they are working through the process. So like I said, if Hurricane Lizzie comes through and you can't have it in Miami because it's going to be a direct hit, you got to have an alternative spot. And that's the speed committee's doing the right thing. They got a backup plan. And you can't, that's what they're supposed to do. So I understand that, you're going to have to buy 2 more tickets or whatever. So you got to buy 2 more tickets.
Okay, stop for a second. Someone asked what part of Pennsylvania you're in. We're in Reading, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we're in Reading,
Our rink is called Skateaway.
Skateaway in Shillington, PA.
I mean, it's still Reading, but yeah.
Yeah, it's Reading. So, I thought the board meeting was very, very positive.
I can't have any comments because I wasn't on it.
Yeah, I sat there on there for like 6 hours. And I thought it was very, very positive.
Oh, that's a good idea. Sorry. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry if I pronounced that amazing. I said Chico. Maybe instead of bringing him in a safe sport, they have to sign like an ethics clause that if they break it, then they can't be that. That may be a better idea. Doing an ethics clause.
Well, they are. The speaker meeting talk about like unruly people. They also talk about removing people. My thing is, what is unruly and what's not unruly? Is raising your voice unruly? So they're going to have to be specific with that, or they're going to have a lot of problems. So that's why I think the regional reps, the speak committee, are addressing some of these issues. I just hope that they do their due diligence in the descriptions and in the definitions of the rules, so everybody understands them. So, yeah, I thought that I got to tell you, I've listened to a lot of board meetings, and it'll come out in print. And if we miss something or we misspoke, I'm apologizing in advance. We will correct it because we will go over the printed version of the minutes.
I was not in it, so I got no clue.
So, no, you weren't. You got to have no life like me to sit there and listen to the board meeting.
No, you know what I was doing? I was putting together a portfolio this thick.
No, actually, you were skating outside at Trexlertown when it was
no, when we came home, I was doing work up till 2 a.m. each night. Hopefully, I passed.
So is your thinking about, is your internship over?
It is, but I'm still helping out a little bit here and there, probably.
So they didn't fire you?
No, I think I did a good job. They didn't fire me.
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't hear from Lisa. I don't know.
Lisa said I did a good job.
Okay, I was just wondering if you got. When
I was on the one board meeting, they gave me a few pointers, but I was doing a good job in general.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I think more people need to get involved. I think more people get involved in social media. Who's making a Facebook page?
YouTube page? Bentley. I messaged him the other day about it.
Yeah, I think we need to see more of that because we're going to have to promote ourselves.
It'd be really cool. Like, he was talking to me about it and some of the ideas, which I'm not going to say on here because those are his ideas. Because I tried to do some of them too. But if we had just a page in general when he was talking about just everything goes on. Like, at one point there was Inline Speed Skater, but he only mostly posts races. He tried to do, like interviewing people and things like that. But the way we have to promote the sport is kind of like, okay, we have some of our races, but then you have, like, those action-packed races that get, like, more views on everything. Like, I shared the one video on Inline Talk that I made 2 years ago with, like, Team USA and things like that. And that took forever to make. But it was more action-packed and things.
Well, I think that,
also getting into, like, the lives of other
people. I think we got to get back to the human interest stuff. I think that would be really...
I'm not a human. I'm just kidding.
I think the human interest stuff is really kind of fascinating to people because I think people want to know, like, how do you do all this?
I don't know either.
I know it. I know it to me. When I was sitting in my little chair and people come and talk to me, they would just say, "Well, how do you do all this? You work. You
coach. You're not working now." I'm just kidding. That's what Mike said, not me. He said you're retired. You got all the time to work. He said that, not me. I'm just reiterating.
I'm just saying you work and you go to practice. Every day you gotta deal with the parents, you gotta work with the rink, you gotta do this, outdoor, indoor. And I think you just gotta love it. I really enjoy it. And I gotta tell you, Mike's right. I've never worked a day in my life. I really haven't. Even with Xerox. Even what I'm going through now, I haven't worked a day in my life. I've had so much fun.
Well, it's work, but to you it's not work because it's fun, but technically it's still work.
Well, for me it's not because, you go to practice, like...
I'm talking about Xerox. I'm not...
Well, even Xerox, but we play tic-tac-toe on...
Don't tell people that. They already think we're running a circus around here.
I know, but we played tic-tac-toe on Tuesday, and we had so much fun playing that game. But the kids...
You lost some skin in the process.
Yeah, the kids were flying, running as fast as they could. But see, now, the game, I'm going to have to change it, Chris Kiesler, because now my skaters are, thinking. Now it's all about strategy. I mean, they would run up before they run up down there and try to put their wheel where it need to be. Now they're sitting there thinking, well, I'm going to put this here and I'm going to put this here because they're going to do this, do that. I got the drill from Chris Kiesler.
We got actually a few drills from Kiesler. We got the third place drill one where you can't move.
Yeah, we got that one.
To be honest, I kind of like that drill a little bit, but it's like you have to do it a certain way to actually like the drill, but I do like that drill.
And we got the relay drill from Lenny.
I got it.
That's Rachel's favorite.
That's my least favorite.
Yeah, Rachel loves that one.
That is my least favorite.
And then we got the catch the pack from the back from Patty.
Well, we got that one, and then we modified it.
Yeah, we had to modify it a little bit.
Well, she called it, I think she called it reverse windmills, the way she did.
Yeah, reverse windmills.
So the fastest person stayed in the front the entire time, but they slowed down. But the fastest person was also, like, the strongest and had the most endurance doing it. I'll tell you, that drill hurts, too, especially if you're closer to the front.
Yeah. And then we got some from Renee, and we got some from Johanna, because that's how you keep it fresh. You have to, you know...
Mike Godin, what's your drill?
Well, Mike Godin got a whole...
He said that's my drill. I'm just reading the comments now.
Yeah, he does. He said that's his drill.
But
between the two of them, we kind of morphed it in. But he's got a couple drills, too, that are kind of on the crazy, too. Now, we don't go to get into Chad's 642.
No.
We don't do that one.
It depends on how much effort you put into the 642, if it hurts or not.
Yeah, do that drill. But
the relay drill.
We got the relay drill. But we definitely, you know, I'm an open book. I'm always trying to learn from all the different kids and all the different coaches that I run into and how to build speed teams. But I think we've kind of overstayed our stay.
No, last time we went a lot longer.
So we just wanted to talk about the board meeting.
I'm just going through comments real quick. Tanner Evans says, thank you for the show. Seen every episode and have learned so much I never knew about the sport. Chico said, he's talking about my TikTok. Maybe put a TikTok live feed on. I'll try. I do have a TikTok for people who want to follow my TikTok. I forget what it's called.
Look, I don't have a computer,
but
when I get one, that might be dangerous. But we definitely are going to do more topics. Please let us know what topics you want. We pick a lot of our topics up from Mr. Rogers. When people, there's a topic on there today that I want to do some research in.
What's that?
Somebody asked about how different venues are picked, and
it's a bid.
Yeah, there's a bid process, but what is the bid process? Maybe we would try to get a hold of the written bid process.
You know what's actually funny is I was learning the bid process in class for event facility management, and USARS came up as one of the examples in class.
Oh, that was good.
For the bid for National Generation, I'm training for Spirit Night. I can't wait for Spirit Night too. That's gonna be so much fun. That was so fun last year.
I made a fool out of myself last year, didn't I?
It was just so much fun because it was after either the 500 or the 2000, and Jayla and I we jumped in. Yeah, it was definitely the 2000 because we jumped into the stand afterwards. It was so much fun because they made Spirit Night because of what happened with the storm.
Oh yeah.
No, the storm, the tornado. We didn't get.
We couldn't. We
didn't do our 500s at night, so we did them in the morning. I think, and then we had our 2000s at night. So we had Spirit Night for like 2 days.
Well, it was really good, but like I said, I think that.
I don't know what that means, Mike Gordon. I don't know.
What did he say?
He said, "Wonder who will come in second place."
Oh, we ain't gonna touch that.
So. I'm trying to be. To be honest, I don't know how I'm controversial now, but I'm trying to be less controversial. I go on social media when I have to. Some people do not see my social media anymore. Sean Narration, I award for second place for the Spirit Nights because we win. Oh, they're talking about Spirit Night. Who's gonna win? My gun's like, we win it. I will say, out of all the Spirit Nights in a really long time, I think last year was a lot of people got involved because Emerald Coast was really cool. Synergy, they had their balloons and they were walking around with them. Yeah, that was really cool. And then you had Team Florida, There's also Ocala, and if I miss teams, I'm sorry, because I was only in like one section of where I could see so much, and those are the teams that I saw that were like really like decked out in team spirit.
Well, like I said, I think that we covered everything. I'm going to tell you that the board, it was a good meeting. The speed committee had a lot of information. So did the other committees, but we're only here about speed. The regional reps are doing their due diligence. CW was a good start, and hopefully we're going to be able to check them comments. We're going to be able to build on it. I'm hoping we do it next year, and I'm hoping we can do another one next year, and bring skating back to our area. I thought it was very good. So.
The floor was actually really
the floor
good.
was excellent. It was so tight. It was good. It was fast. And so hopefully, we just wanted to get back. We haven't been, Jasmine's been busy with school.
I'm done, but I'm still waiting on grades, and I'm putting stuff in for another internship that I have to do for coaching. So I'm trying to also get back to posting more on YouTube, mostly probably like skating, GoPro videos, like when I'm at practice or some of the races, like the mega practice. When's the next mega practice?
Next mega practice is on June 5th, and that's going to be a rough one for me because I get my other knee done on Tuesday, so I'll be all laid up.
But it's at Whitehall.
Yes.
And then also make sure for American Championships you have your entries in by Sunday, because late entries.
They charge more?
Yeah. Well, it's instead of the price going down after each event, it stays the same, I believe, but I'm not completely sure. But just get your entries in, because there's always a late fee in anything that you do. So just get your entries in. To Lisa, if you or mail them or email them. The email is on US Roller Speed Skating under one of the pages. It looks like this.
And you know what? That's another person I forgot to mention.
You said Lisa.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
She did a phenomenal job. We had all these late entries.
Oh my goodness, that was crazy.
We had all these late entries because people, different organization, everything, all these late entries, and people were like, "Oh, what's taking so long?" Because we had a lot of late entries.
We were trying to run as best we could. One more thing is, I don't know if this happened last year, but this year for American Championships, they're having a relay card. So the relay card is an agreement between coaches set an athlete that has no relays on their home team to skate relays with an agreed upon team. The relays should be made from the home team before transferring an athlete. And then all the points from relays would go to the team that the relay is carded.
So if you have two people at the championship that could relay together, they must relay before you go outside the relay of somebody else, correct? Just say yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So you're saying exhaust
you have to exhaust your relay. Which makes sense.
For me or Jalen, we only have each other, but we're transferring to a different team. But let's say, for example, because at one point Jalen was younger than me at one point, so I could never relay with her. So that means I could have gone relay card to another team because she's too young.
Yeah. And
she could have done the same. Then we would have a lot more relays.
So. All right. Well, listen. Please subscribe.
No, it's like on Facebook.
Okay, like on Facebook. Please subscribe. Please send me or Jazz a personal message of what topics you want to go over in the future. When it's hot and heavy, we'll be out here a lot. But, we got a lot of things going on, skating meets and everything. So we didn't. And, it's going to get hot and heavy. We might go live from the American Championships. Because, we got
I'm gonna be busy skating and refereeing.
Yeah, we have American Championships, World Games, Indoor Nationals, Trials. If we get through all that, Worlds in Argentina, it's gonna be busy. So
gotta make team first.
Yeah, gotta make team.
I always just.
Yep, knock on wood. So we definitely, I might be going live. I went live the other night. I appreciate you all to stop in.
Yeah, I was like, I got a notification on my phone. Jeff Foster's live. So I was like, I just said goodnight to him, and now he's going live.
Well, it was in my crawl, and I had to say something. So, and I think I got my point across. So we will be doing that from time to time, and we really appreciate the support. We're gonna say goodbye, and you all take it easy. And we hope to see some of you out in Colorado. Hope to see some of you in Nebraska. We'll see you. But you know what? We're always here. So good night. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you later.
Bye.
Anybody else we gotta check on?
Oh, you just said bye. What are you gonna do?